Hi there, welcome to the Numerology and Astrology for May 11th, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 11. The 11 is the number of transcendence. The number 11 is about expansion of consciousness. It is considered the Leonardo da Vinci number. So it's like a smorgasbord. It likes to pull a lot of information in from a lot of angles. And so you can imagine that, you know, if you've got objectivity and overview, you have clarity, because if you can pull a lot of things from a lot of different angles, you actually get a ton of information that you can then digest and sort through, so that there isn't just like one viewpoint or another viewpoint. So there are many choices that evolve as we continue to change, and today is a change day, and today is a moment that those choices allow expansion that will compile in you so that you can actually kind of continue on in a different format. So I wish for a simple choice that would allow things to settle down, but we are in this smorgasbord pattern of the number 11, and there are moments when there are so many decisions that need to be made and so many choices and actions that need to be taken that it can feel overwhelming. And the good news is that I believe your choices are perfect for what you need to learn. I believe that a simple life is not really what anybody really wants, as much as they say that they do. And I believe that if you get to choose, then so do others. And those choices may appear contrary. And you have to walk your own path and learn, and you learn a lot about life that way when you walk your own path. And you discover that the huge difference between your mind's attachments and allowing for an expansion that manifests when the mind lets go and is no longer manipulating the reality is really important. I mean, it's so important. So, the astrology for today. Mercury is in Taurus the first half of the day, giving a nervous, excitable energy to the day. Know that others are on edge and they might exaggerate, be intolerant, outright lie, or just criticize you. Just smile and walk away. Okay, so Mercury goes into Gemini and it sharpens your mind and focus. Reading is preferred as you want to explore the emotional content of other worlds. So go for it. Dive into some other realities and understand the emotional complexity of other people and characters. The moon is in Sirius Capricorn, sextile Neptune in Pisces, and it allows your artistic side out a little bit, and your imagination maybe wants to run wild, and you might like that. You know, maybe you should have some fun. Maybe you should let your wild, imaginative, creative side out. The sun is in Taurus, trining the moon, and while this brings health and vitality, it will also help you get along with those you are quarantined with. Saturn appears to stop moving in the sky and turns retrograde today, and it will be dancing backwards until September 29th. And you'll have a tendency to question where your responsibilities lie and what it is that you're committed to and what you need to reach for in your commitments. Such a moment will magnify some of the heavier aspects of the day and the rest of the week also. So when planets shift directions, it is a bit discombobulating. So Venus is going retrograde on the 13th, Jupiter is going retrograde on the 14th, and you're going to have lots of time to review and reflect on the many aspects of your life throughout the summer. Like I said, the summer is going to be pinchy between every planet being retrograde and the eclipses that are shifting out of Cancer, Capricorn into Gemini, Sagittarius. It's a lot of change. It's going to be a lot of change. So batten down the hatches, buckle up, buttercups. Here we go. It's like this is going to get interesting. Now, Mercury is squaring Mars, and more tensions are going to heighten around communications, and impulsive moves and reactive words are highly possible. There are things that you need to deal with, but do not make decisions from fear. That never is a good idea. So my quote for today is, you discover your true self when the mind lets go and is no longer manipulating the reality. That's a big one to me. I mean, so, you know, I really look at all the places when I was younger in my teens and 20s where, you know, I kept trying to bargain with the universe and I kept trying to manipulate the circumstances in a way that worked for myself. And even if I managed to do that, I usually hated the result. I completely hated the result. And so I have learned in my old age that you just have to let life do its thing, and you have to let things roll. And it's so much better, and it takes so much less energy if you're in the flow of life rather than trying to manipulate people, circumstances, situations to the way that you want them. I mean, you get happier. You get just tremendously happier when you just allow yourself to find the patterns and the connections that are yours and truly yours in this lifetime. Now, I am doing this video log on Mother's Day, so it's actually, in my time, 8:45 in the morning on Mother's Day. And I just got off the phone with my mom and said, thank you for my life, thank you for, an incredible journey, thank you for being my mom, thank you for being an amazing mom. And so even though this video log is actually for Monday, I'm going to tell you something a little bit about my mom. So, when I was a child, I believe that my mother literally never stopped moving. I mean, she walked quickly, she did chores quickly, she was highly efficient at getting dinner prepared and ready to go so that when I came home from school, I could put the chicken in the oven before she had to come back home from work, take me to ballet, come back home, finish dinner, do the dishes all before 5:30 p.m. because my father always wanted dinner at 5:30 p.m. and that was her agreement with him, and she was literally super mom. And I remember walking beside her on errands, and while I was a child and my legs were shorter, I remember literally having to run to keep up with her. And I remember thinking to myself, I am going to fail horribly at being a mother or a parent. I mean, this is difficult. It's terribly difficult. It's work nonstop. I don't know how she does it, right? And I think that was one of the moments that helped solidify that I was not going to be a parent in this lifetime. I kind of knew my whole life that I was not having children, and it totally did not bother me. And my mother and the insane pace that she rushed around in her younger years was exhausting for me as a child and seemed on the verge of impossible. And now at 83, she'll be 84 in a few days, I literally have to chuckle and say she's almost at a normal pace for a normal human being. I mean, so she's always been super fast and super zippy and super quick. And, I know that many think that my tempo is incredibly insane and that my schedule is insane. But in reality, my life is so slow and simpler than my mother's by a long shot. When I was a child, we would go backpacking, and this was before or right at the beginning of freeze-dried food. And the freeze-dried food was terrible, by the way. And I think the first couple of years we didn't have it, but then it kind of came into play. But my mother would literally sit and give us a square of saran wrap, and we would put 1 teaspoon of coffee, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of creamer, and then fold it up and tape it together, and all the food was pre-packaged this way. She was organized. Things were carefully planned out. The camper was packed to the gills, but no space was wasted. We always had what we needed, and it was not like we were rich. I mean, we were middle class, but we never felt as if we were lacking anything that was essential. So here's to the amazing mothers out there who worked so hard, endlessly, to make things easier for us. The generosity of the feminine has a timeless quality. With my mother, I could see the genetics of the pioneering women who walked 10 miles a day behind a covered wagon. Once they stopped, they had to feed and water the horses and the oxen, then make dinner, unpack the beds, put the kids to bed, wake up, feed everybody, pack the wagons, and do this again and again, day after day. Thank goodness for the incredible sturdiness of our ancestors. We are here because of their willingness and determination and skills. So today, I honor all my ancestors, especially the women in my genetic line that went above and beyond so that I could be free here in America and have the skills that I have to be discerning and kind. So today, take a moment to appreciate all your ancestors. I mean, really, even with the glitches and the problems and the challenges that family always is, really take a look at the fact that, everybody is almost always doing their very best that they can, and they don't have maybe certain skills or certain coping skills, and they give you what they have to give. And over and over again, I say this, it's like you need to allow people to give you what they have and are willing to give you, and you can't ask for or expect people to give you something that they don't have, and or they're not willing to offer. And you have to understand that that is a critical piece in this world and in this life. And once you do that, you'll be a lot happier and you'll be a lot freer, because then you'll notice that people are giving gifts all over the place. And, while it maybe wasn't packaged the way you wanted it to be packaged, the reality is that they're giving you what they have. And everybody doesn't have everything. I don't have everything. I don't have all the perfect tools and skills. I have the skills and tools that I've learned, and then I try and share them with you. And so thank you guys for listening. Just a reminder that I am still doing my COVID-19 special, which is a great deal. It's $100 for an hour with me, 55 minutes with me. That's recorded, and you're getting a PDF copy of my numerology book, a PDF copy of my workbook that you can go online and take my numerology class, which is free online on my YouTube channel. And then you also will get a natal chart and an outline with some of the forecasts of the astrological patterns that are happening coming forward. So you're getting about 2 hours worth of my time for 1 hour of payment, and at a discounted rate. So it's a great deal, and I'm doing this just because, number one, we're all quarantined, and so you might as well have a project to do, like learning numerology, which could be incredibly helpful in dealing with your family and things coming up as it goes along, and understanding each other maybe a little bit better, and opening up some interesting discussions and stuff. So, okay, and I also just think that you can never learn enough about your natal chart, and you can never stop growing in certain areas that are really critical. And I think if you understand your natal chart and you understand what you came in to learn, and where your focuses are in this lifetime, then things simplify, and you stop striving in areas that maybe you just don't have any juice or any juju. So anyway, thank you to all the mothers out there. And thank you to all the women who are not mothers that mothered something into existence. Because I still think that I'm not a mother, but I gave birth to books, and I give birth to videos and ideas. And I think that that's still a birthing in its own way. So I think all feminine energy is co-creating this reality. And I would love for all the women to feel loved about that. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.